Well, meanwhile, the opposition NDC has slammed the Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo, and the Supreme Court for scheduling the case of the MP, Roxanne Nelson, the Femiko, against the approval of President Akufo-Addo's ministerial nominees ahead of the action filed by journalist Richard Dela against the controversial anti-LGBTQ+ bill passed by Parliament. The NDC says that this schedule exposes a plot by the courts to assist the government in getting their nominees through Parliament and stalling executive action on the anti-LGBTQ bill. Well, now, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustapha Gwande, joins us to tell us why the party thinks the Supreme Court is being biased. Mustapha, thank you for your time. You're welcome. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
So we woke up to your release as a political party, detailing why you think that the Supreme Court is being biased. Is the court not independent enough to decide on which case it deems it important to deal with as far as the country is concerned?
Thank you very much. The work of the judiciary is in direct relating to listing of cases which gives the judiciary or the Chief Justice some level of discretion. We are guided by Article 296 of the 1992 Constitution, where in the circumstances that you have a discretionary power to exercise, same must be done in good faith and not capriciously. For the Chief Justice to list a case that was recently filed and leave one that was filed before this one, if you recall, in the matter of the private member bill on the LGBTQ, Richard Dela earlier on filed in the Supreme Court. Even before then, the president predated that filing, and we'll get to that conversation. Then subsequently, 2 weeks after, the Piamapo filed his writ at the Supreme Court. How come that the Supreme Court and the Chief Justice, in listing the cases for hearing, found solace and the need to hear that of the Piamapo instead of that of Richard Dela that was filed, in precision? And so we believe that at a time where the sitting president is not just one that breaks laws, but one that have decided that it will compromise the judiciary and independent institutions of state for political expedience and his own show of power. We don't only believe that the Chief Justice has offered a carpet for the president to do so, but the Chief Justice have now become an accomplice and a comfortable partner with President Akufo-Addo in undermining the judicial process and justice delivery of this country, which undermines our democratic credentials as a country, a peaceful country, a law-abiding country, and loving people of the Republic of Ghana. And we believe that we cannot...
Is that not highly being unfair to the Chief Justice? You have not stated any case of an illegality or any case near illegal. You're only stating suspicions and allegations, which is quite unfair on the Chief Justice.
A suspicious discharge of discretionary power is an illegality. When you don't discharge your discretionary power available to you in good faith and in the interest of justice, it is an illegality and an affront to our rule of law. And that is what exactly the Chief Justice is doing, meddling and being behind the executive to undermine justice delivery is a complete affront to our democratic gains, which is what we are talking about.
What bearing has the Femiko's suit got to do with Richard Sky's suit? There are two separate issues. Richard Sky's suit has to do with LGBTQ+ issues. The Femiko's case has to do with ministerial approvals, which, of course, even minority in Parliament has been accused of sort of impeding government businesses by trying to stampede the process of approving the ministers. And almost, you would say, or one would say that almost the same thing is being seen as the Supreme Court is trying to, make that issue quite paramount.
We are not we will not be in contempt with the facts of each case. But we believe that if there was no problem, why did the Chief Justice find solace in this current matter, whereas running away from that of the LGBTQ, which is before her? What would be the Chief Justice's reason for running away, particularly when in the case of Tapiamapo, no party to that litigation have filed for breach of time? And in the absence of breach of time, what would have been so critical and so important that the Chief Justice would place priority on a case that was recently filed for hearing and leave an important matter that was filed before it 2 weeks ago? You are aware that even before Richard Delaska went to court, the president in his showmanship decided to hint to the people of Ghana that the case was in court when the case was actually filed a day after the president made such pronouncement. Why are we caught up in this bizarre exercise of discretion and undermining the integrity of the judiciary, and the Chief Justice finding very incentivizing reasons that she's compromised by the president to do so against the people of Ghana? We don't have to wait for a complete law of illegality to be broken, but when the processes are undermined, it's enough to call same an illegality. It's enough to call same an affront to our rule of law.
To be fair to you, the president's comments, coming in and considering when that LGBTQ suit was actually filed, is a case to be handled maybe another time or on a different platform. But regarding the suits of the FEMIPO, it has to do with ministerial approval. Are you considering that as unimportant?
Clearly, at the time when the government is finding excuses for their failure and saying that there's hardship, Ghanaians are crying, why does the president want to prioritize appointment, or why does the Chief Justice feel that appointment and ballooning of ministers is important than a case that borders on our customary rights, where traditional leaders, religious leaders, and the people of Ghana are waiting on the president and knocking at his doors to sign a bill? This is the same president who purposed to build a cathedral for God. Is he now running away from signing just a bill for the interest of God? This bill is so important. Why did the Chief Justice find reason to balloon ministers? Is it not the same government that is saying they want to cut down ministers or cut down appointments? Why is that a priority to the people of Ghana? Certainly, it is not a priority to the people of Ghana. It shouldn't be a priority.
Right. Mustafa Gwande, I'm grateful for speaking to us. He's Deputy General Secretary for the NDC.